Welcome back to Echoes Untold, the channel where forgotten moments of history are uncovered, examined, and remembered. If you're new here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a story that shaped the world in ways often overlooked. Because here at Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen. The Volgograd bombings, Russia, 2013. Volgograd. A city on the banks of the Volga River. A city with a proud name, once known as Stalingrad, etched forever into history for its role in World War II. But in late 2013, Volgograd became known to the world once again, not for heroism in war, but for tragedy in peace. In two brutal attacks, just months before Russia was to host the Sochi Winter Olympics, suicide bombers tore through civilians in both a train station and a trolleybus. 34 people were killed, dozens more were injured. This is the story of the Volgograd bombings. It was December 29, 2013. The holiday season, families traveling, commuters moving between cities. The Volgograd 1 railway station was busy, filled with ordinary people. At around 12:45 in the afternoon, a woman approached the entrance security check. Moments later, an explosion ripped through the station. The suicide bomber had detonated an explosive vest. The blast was powerful enough to shatter windows, tear through the waiting area, and be heard miles away. 17 people were killed instantly. Scores more were injured, many critically. Security cameras captured the chaos, smoke, panic, people running in every direction. Rescue workers and police rushed in, pulling the wounded from the wreckage. Less than 24 hours later, on the morning of December 30th, Volgograd was struck again. This time, a trolleybus filled with commuters on their way to work was the target. At 8:30 a.m., another suicide bomber detonated his device. The explosion tore through the bus, ripping it apart in the middle of the street. Passengers who had simply been riding to work never made it home. 17 people died. Dozens were wounded. The city was in shock. 2 attacks in 2 days, both targeting civilians, both leaving behind scenes of unimaginable destruction. Investigators quickly linked the bombings to Islamist insurgents from the North Caucasus region. At the time, militant groups there were fighting to establish an independent Islamic state, rejecting Moscow's authority. The attacks in Volgograd were seen as an attempt to undermine security in Russia, just weeks before the world's eyes would be on Sochi for the 2014 Winter Olympics. Authorities later identified the bombers as part of the Caucasus Emirate, a jihadist group active in southern Russia. The immediate aftermath was fear and grief. Volgograd, already scarred by its tragic past, now faced modern terrorism. Security was heightened across Russia. Thousands of police and military personnel were mobilized to protect transport hubs and public spaces. In Volgograd itself, mourning was declared. Vigils were held. Families buried their loved ones. The city tried to heal. But scars like these do not fade easily. Survivors carried injuries, both physical and psychological, for years to come. The Volgograd bombings weren't just a Russian tragedy. They highlighted how terrorism could strike at the very heart of civilian life, in buses, train stations, places we pass through every single day. They also revealed the vulnerability of major international events. With the Sochi Olympics looming, the attacks served as a grim warning that no nation, no matter how powerful, was immune. The Volgograd bombings of December 2013 remind us of two truths. First, the cost of extremism is always borne by the innocent. Ordinary people living ordinary lives too often become the targets of extraordinary violence. And second, memory matters. Because when we tell these stories, when we remember the names and the lives lost, we deny those who commit such violence the power to erase their victims into statistics. So we remember. Thank you for watching Echoes Untold. If you found this story important, please like, share, and subscribe. It helps us bring more hidden histories and difficult truths to light. And always remember our motto, Echoes Untold, where history whispers and we listen. Fact-check note. All details in this video have been fact-checked using reports from BBC News, CNN, Reuters, and official Russian sources documenting the Volgograd bombings of December 29-30, 2013.